Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into browser extensions. They're arguably one of the most powerful yet often most dangerous categories of software running on your computer.
They really are. They function as these incredibly efficient little digital assistants. They're just small software modules that fundamentally enhance and, customize your web browser experience.
Right, whether you're using Chrome or Edge or Firefox.
Exactly. They use the basic building blocks of the web HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to completely rewrite your workflows.
And that duality, that incredible power versus the massive peril, that's really our mission today. We've synthesized sources covering everything from the, amazing efficiency boosts these tools offer.
Especially things like communication and sales workflows.
To the really significant security, privacy, and performance risks they introduce.
And crucially, we have to talk about the fact that the entire foundation of this ecosystem is shifting with Manifest v3. It's this mandatory platform change that's it's redefining all the trade-offs.
Okay, so let's start with the good stuff, the utility, the pure power. When you look at the Chrome Web Store, you're looking at tens of thousands of extensions. And for professionals, especially those just bogged down by communication and task management, these modules really deliver on that promise of making workflows simpler, faster, and just better.
Yeah, and the primary battlefield for that is distraction, which of course starts with email. Consider an extension like Checker Plus for Gmail.
Right.
Its core function is battling the tyranny of the open inbox. It gives you this little pop-up with basic email details, the sender, the subject.
So you can triage without ever clicking away from what you're actually doing.
Exactly. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the voice notification feature. It can read the entire email aloud to you.
The whole thing.
The entire email. Just think about that for a second. You can listen to your email, get the full context, without even glancing at your screen. It enables truly hands-free work.
That's a massive boost for workflow flexibility. And you mentioned it supports other providers too.
It does, using the Gmailify method. So it can pull in notifications for Outlook, Yahoo Mail, you name it.
Okay, so if we move past just triage and into actually writing emails, the tech gets almost unnerving. You found an extension called contextual composition.
Yeah, it was formerly known as Crystal. It offers these targeted suggestions while you write.
Wait, I think I read about this. It analyzes the recipient's online activities, like their Twitter, LinkedIn, even Facebook.
That's exactly right.
To build a kind of digital psychological profile, to figure out their language style.
Precisely. It looks for cues, are they formal or informal, analytical or expressive? And then it guides you in real time to write an email that suits that specific recipient's personality.
That sounds terrifying and brilliant all at once.
It is.
The tool is essentially building a quick psychographic profile from public social media data just to land a better sales email.
Yep.
It just shows the sheer depth of access we are willingly granting these small pieces of software.
It absolutely highlights that duality we talked about.
Yeah.
The goal is efficiency, better engagement, but the mechanism is, it's deep data analysis of third parties.
Speaking of engagement, let's talk about sales and large-scale outreach. This is where Gmail extensions can transform a basic inbox into a heavy-duty marketing machine. GMAS.
GMAS is a big one. It converts Gmail into a legitimate mail merge and bulk email tool, and it's all accessible right inside the familiar inbox.
And this goes way beyond simple templates, right?
Oh yeah. GMAS allows for really tactical personalization. It can automatically detect and insert a person's first name. You can add personalized links, personalized images.
And even conditional content.
Yes, using these sophisticated if-then statements that pull specific data from a linked spreadsheet. It's really powerful.
Okay, but the natural hurdle here is Gmail's hard daily limit. It's 500 emails for a regular account?
500 for regular, 2,000 for a G Suite account. And that throttle is there for a reason, but GMAS offers a very clever way around it.
How does it manage that?
It allows users to connect their own external SMTP server. So you use the Gmail interface to compose, but the actual delivery of the emails happens through a third-party server.
Which lets you send virtually unlimited emails.
Pretty much. The system can even detect when you're about to hit that native Gmail limit and automatically reroute the rest of the campaign through the external server.
That's a genuinely clever hack for a major bottleneck. But are there hidden liabilities for the user? You're now responsible for that external server's security and reputation, not Google.
Exactly. You're taking on the full liability. Deliverability, spam complaints, infrastructure security, all of that was previously managed by Google. It's a critical trade-off.
Right. So moving out of email and into broader workflow, we see extensions tackling the sheer friction of digital life, like time tracking.
Yeah, for project billing and things like that, you have the toggle button. It's a simple time tracker that integrates seamlessly into tools like Asana and Trello.
And then there's the universal problem of tab hoarding.
We're all guilty of it.
If you have 50 tabs open, your system is crying. One tab is a popular solution. It converts all your open tabs into a simple list.
And the developers claim this can save up to 95% of your computer's memory and just massively reduce clutter.
That's the ultimate irony, isn't it? The time-saving extension you downloaded to manage your tabs might be the very thing slowing down your computer. We'll get to performance in a bit.
Before we do, we have to mention the documentation tools. Tango and Scribe are, well, they're game changers. So instead of manually taking screenshots, cropping, adding notes, these tools just automatically record your actions and convert them into neat, step-by-step visual guides. It eliminates one of the most tedious admin tasks.
And finally, automation, which ties it all together. The Zapier extension.
Right. It lets you kick off automated workflow zaps with a single button click inside the browser. These can connect to thousands of apps, even include AI actions.
Letting you create a task or save a URL to a spreadsheet without ever leaving the page you're on.
The utility is just overwhelming. We've shown how these tools read your email, analyze your contacts, dictate your communication style, control your time tracking.
It sounds like we've given them a terrifying amount of access to our deepest digital routines.
We have.
And that deep access is precisely the line we need to cross now, because it creates a massive security vulnerability. Let's talk about the hidden peril.
That's the hard transition. The sources we looked at confirm that well over half of analyzed extensions require what security researchers call excessive permissions.
So they demand access far beyond what they actually need to do their job.
Far beyond. And that level of permission gives the extension the potential to monitor, to harvest, or even to alter your entire web traffic.
So they can read financial logins, track what you're typing.
We can inject ads, change your search results, anything is possible. And this isn't theoretical. Malicious extensions are a growing threat, even on the official Chrome Web Store.
Really? Even after Google's vetting process?
Even after.
Yeah.
We know of at least 33 malicious Chrome extensions that were found to be covertly stealing user credentials and browsing history.
And they slip in under the most mundane disguises, right? We're not talking about complex enterprise software.
Not at all. It's things you download without thinking. The examples are like emoji keyboard online, free weather forecast, unlock TikTok, volume max. The user thinks they're getting a quick utility.
And they're installing a keylogger.
Precisely. The risk also extends up the supply chain. There was a breach involving the GraphQR Network Inspector connector, where a legitimate background script was compromised to download code from a command and control server. It's insidious.
And even extensions that use popular, legitimate third-party libraries can carry risk. I think the source mentioned Inbox SDK.
Yes, it's used by popular tools like Antidote Connector, which has over 1 million users. Researchers found that this library sometimes contained hard-coded API keys directly in the extension's source code,
creating a huge, unnecessary vulnerability for a massive user base. So, given all this, how do you, the listener, actually vet something before you install it? What are the specific red flags?
Okay, so beyond the basics, you have to look at the developer. Look for signs of a legitimate, ongoing business. Do they have a full website? Verifiable contact details? Maybe a business registration number?
And the contact email is a big one, right?
It is. If the only contact email is a generic Gmail address instead of a business domain, that's a potential red flag. It could be a fly-by-night operation that might just sell your data and disappear.
What about updates? How often should you expect an extension to be updated?
That's a critical sign. Has the extension gone 6 months, a year, without an update? That's abandonment. Abandoned extensions are prime targets for malicious actors who buy them up just to inject malware into the next so-called security update.
We should probably mention Google's attempts to protect users here. They do force developers to certify their privacy practices now.
They do, and that's a real protection. Developers have to clearly explain how they collect and use information, and Google strictly forbids them from transferring collected data to information resellers or data brokers.
But that still relies on the developer being honest.
Honest and not compromised. That's the catch.
Okay, let's move from outright security threats to just annoyance. Performance overhead. The efficiency we gain in part 1 often comes at the cost of browser speed.
Absolutely. Extensions run extra code on nearly every single page you visit, And the impact can be shocking.
Yeah.
Take Evernote. It loads 4.3 megabytes of content scripts on every page.
That is a huge drag. And some are even worse in how they load. Outreach Everywhere loads an even heftier 4.5 megabytes, but crucially, it loads at document start.
And that phrase, document start, is key. It means the extension runs its process before the page you're visiting even gets permission to start rendering.
So it's like forcing a massive application update to run before the page can even show you a headline.
It guarantees a noticeable delay on every single site load. And then you have tools like Uber Agent, which we're seeing causing high background CPU activity just by setting up tons of timers that fire every 50 milliseconds to check the page loading status.
That kind of constant activity is a recipe for system slowdown and battery drain.
Guaranteed. So the perils of this widespread permissions, malware, performance drain, we have to emphasize the defenses, we have to talk about the shields.
The gold standard here has to be uBlock Origin.
Without a doubt. It's lightweight, great for blocking a huge range of ads, trackers, and malware sites. It enhances speed and safety just by preventing bad scripts from ever loading.
And a good complement to that is Privacy Badger.
Right. It focuses specifically on pervasive tracking. It learns which invisible trackers are stalking you across different sites and then automatically blocks them. These two are really the essential countermeasures.
Which brings us to the inevitable conflict. The entire architecture underlying these powerful tools and these crucial defenses is about to fundamentally change with Manifest v3.
This is the mandatory shift Google is enforcing. The stated goal is to improve security, privacy, and performance. But it's causing, well, massive friction in the developer.
The core technical change is moving from the long-running background pages of MV2 to these event-based service workers in MV3. What does that actually mean for an extension's functionality?
The simplest way to think about it is that the extension is no longer a constant resident in your browser. It's now like an on-call contractor. It boots up to handle an event, a button click, a message does its job, and then shuts down immediately.
That sounds better for resource use.
It is, but if a developer needs to manage a complex, continuous state, they suddenly have to rewrite their entire architecture. A huge pain point.
But the main controversy, the real showdown, is about network requests. MV2 used the very flexible web request API,
Which allowed extensions like uBlock Origin to inspect, modify, and block network traffic in real time.
and MV3 forces a switch to the more restrictive declarative net request API. So instead of inspecting traffic, developers now have to submit lists of rules for the browser to follow.
And that restriction comes with a hard, quantifiable limit. The new API limits extensions to a maximum of 30,000 static rules and 5,000 dynamic rules.
And that's just not enough for sophisticated ad blockers, is it?
Not even close. Developers have stated clearly that this limit is, and I quote, insufficient to replicate current functionality. They warn it will significantly reduce their ability to keep users safe, forcing them to drop support for tens of thousands of common trackers.
It certainly raises an important question. Google frames MV3 as being for user security and privacy, but critics claim it's potentially anti-competitive, kneecapping tools that block ads while Google's own ad business remains, unaffected.
And you have to acknowledge both sides. Google is genuinely improving some things, like giving users more granular control over which websites an extension can operate on.
But on the other hand, you have these trusted, long-standing privacy tools having their core functionality explicitly limited by this new architecture.
It's a classic example of a platform mandating a security update that also happens to chip away at third-party control. It creates a very challenging picture for the future.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, who wants efficiency but demands security? It means you have to strike a constant, active balance. You should absolutely enjoy the incredible utility these extensions offer.
But that utility has to be paired with extreme vigilance. Remember, giving an extension permission means trusting that developer with your most sensitive digital behaviors. You have to vet them carefully.
And if you ever suspect a malicious extension is running on your machine, the immediate actionable takeaway is clear. Uninstall it right away. Then clear all browsing data history, cookies, cache files.
That gets rid of any stolen session tokens the malware might have harvested. And always, wherever you can, enable two-factor authentication on your important accounts.
As we wrap up, consider this provocative closing thought. If knowledge is power, how do we navigate a web ecosystem where the largest platform maker, Google, frames a mandatory architectural change as security, privacy, and performance? Yet this very change directly limits the power of Google's privacy tools, forcing you to choose between trusting the platform itself or sacrificing the utility you've come to rely on.